What's up, though? Good evening. Good evening. I needed to hop on this live and talk to y'all, catch up. How's it been going? How was your week? What's new? What going on? What's going on? What's going on? Good to see you. Good to see you. So we're back, episode 38 of Take Me Down a Rabbit Hole. I just wanted to pop in and have a little chit chat with you this evening. And let's see, where do we start? What's going on, Miss Sarah? How are you doing this evening? Good to see you as always. First of all, I want to say thank you to everyone that shows up to these lives. Thank you to everyone who watches my videos and comments, likes, shares it. Thank you so much for your support, your donations, just all the kind words that you all give. I hope I can continue to give you good content and as we all kind of build on information and things like that. I had an interesting live tonight. It might be a short one because I kind of just wanted to cover this a little bit. I want to ask you if you all heard about the story that came out this week about the lady who she's been practicing for 2 years. She's working at this hospital, treats over 4,400 patients. I believe that the caption says 4,489 patients. And this lady has been unlicensed. Matter of fact, come to find out, she had taken another lady's license and had been using that to treat patients. Now, no one has come out to say that she mangled them. No one has come out to say that anybody died. And I really don't even know what prompted them to look into her background because obviously, like I said, she's been working for 2 years. So I don't know what made them start looking into her background, but she even got a promotion for all the great work that she was doing. So I thought this would be interesting. What do you all think about I guess the licensing community? I remember hearing a story, it had to be about 20 so or years back, but it was about this couple who was living off grid. And for whatever reason, in their spare time, all they would read was medical books, medical journals, medical books. And these people learned how to treat pretty much all of their illnesses. They didn't need any help from anybody. And I don't even know how they got ran down on, but of course, government found out about it and came and cracked down on them for it. And so again, my question is, what is this whole licensing community about? I get it, right? You don't want someone who doesn't have the knowledge working on you in any capacity, right? But there are people with a lot of knowledge. There's people with a lot of book smarts and they don't go to school for it. At what point did it become that you had to have credentials from a higher authority in order to do what you felt like you needed to do in your life? And that's the question. Because, of course, and I'm not trying to take away from anybody's schooling, right? Because I know people go to school, they pay money, they pass their test, they do it the right way, the right way. But again, like I said, there's other people that know just as much as they do, but they haven't gone to school, haven't got any licensing. And so what do we do? What do we do? You said, wait, so is she in the right or wrong? Exactly. Is she in the right or is she in the wrong? You said, well, what's up? You said, well, licensed doctors have to be initiated. I mean, registered, right? Exactly. So that's actually what I wanted to talk about tonight. I actually wanted to go over some of the history of medical credentials, and we're gonna sort it out, and then maybe you'll have a different opinion, or maybe you'll stay with the one that you have. But I definitely wanted to cover this. So the history of medical licensing actually began in ancient Mesopotamia about 2000 BC. And they even quoted that the Code of Hammurabi had specific laws about medical practices. And they even to the point where, say, for instance, you were a physician and you treated somebody and they end up losing their life, you would lose your hands. Hammurabi, he was real serious about stuff like that. He would just take you out of here if it was something that he didn't like. But when the initial credentialing happened, do you know that it wasn't a medical board that had to oversee what you were doing? You actually had to go in front of the constituents in the land, and they were able to ask you questions and you had to answer it. And that's pretty much how you got, quote unquote, credentialed. And then they started coming out with the whole Hippocratic Oath. Now, have y'all ever even read the Hippocratic Oath? If not, I'm actually gonna listen. It's gonna be a lesson tonight. So if you're not here for it, you're not here for it, but we're gonna get some learning here. Now, if you're not familiar with Hippocrates, he's the one that they base the Hippocratic Oath after. Let me pull his picture up. And I want you to take a look. You'll see. This is Hippocrates, okay? And this is the original classic Hippocratic Oath. Quote, "I swear by Apollo, the physician, and Acepulus, the surgeon, likewise Hygeia and Panacea, and call all the gods and goddesses to witness that I will observe and keep this underwritten oath to the utmost of my power and judgment. I will reverence my master who taught me the art. Equally with my parents will I allow him things necessary for his support, and I will consider his sons as brothers. I will teach them my art without reward or agreement, and I will impart all my accrement, instructions, and whatever I know to my master's children, as to my own, and likewise to all my pupils who shall bind and tie themselves by a professional oath, but to none else. With regard to healing the sick, I will devise and order for them the best diet according to my judgment and means, and I will take care that they suffer no hurt or damage. Nor shall any man's entreaty prevail upon me to administer poison to anyone, neither will I counsel any man to do so. Moreover, I will give no sort of medicine to any pregnant woman with a view to destroy the child. Further, I will comport myself and use my knowledge in a godly manner. I will not cut for the stone, but will commit that affair entirely to the surgeons. Whatsoever house I may enter, my visit shall be for the convenience and advantage of the patient, and I will willingly refrain from doing any injury or wrong from falsehood, and in any especial manner from acts of amorous nature, whatever may be the rank of those who it may be by duty or to cure, whether mistress or servant, bond or free, whatever in the course of my practice I may see or hear, even when not invited, whatever I may happen to obtain knowledge of it, if it be not proper to repeat it, I will keep sacred and secret within my own breast. If I faithfully observe this oath, may I thrive and prosper in my fortune and profession, and live in the estimation of posterity, or on breach thereof, may the reverse be my fate." Okay, that's the classic Hippocratic Oath. Now, you might have noticed something in the very first lines. These people swore by Apollo, Acepulus, I don't know if I'm saying that name right, Hygeia and Panacea. Now, who are these gods? Now, Apollo was known as the god of healing, music, prophecy, and art. Okay, they just pretty much knew him as the father of medicine or the god of medicine. Okay, and once again, he's who the Hippocratic Oath was based off of. Now, Asclepius, or like I said, I don't know how to say his name or her because it's kind of, I've seen different things. Now, let me show you a picture of that one. So this is Apollo. Let me show you the other guy. And I want you to notice something about all these so-called gods that I'm putting on the screen. Now, this person here represents all aspects of medical arts. Now, I'm not sure if you're familiar, but the word pharmakia, and it's spoken about a lot in the New Testament, or pretty much in the Greek, is a potion. It's a magical potion that that they obviously believe, led to healing. And so that's what he was supposed to be over. And furthermore, panacea, which is also in that first verse, is another potion, but it's said to cure everything. So this was like a one-stop shop. You take it and everything is cured. Now, this also comes from alchemy, because, they feel like, how alchemists feel. We've talked about that. Okay. Now, the other person, the other god or goddess that they name in there is Hygeia. That's where we get the word hygiene from. Now, this obviously has to do with cleanliness and all that good stuff. Good health, the healing process, recuperation from illness. Now, let me show you her. Do you notice something? Do you notice something? What's in her hand? That's a serpent. What's around his staff? And this is where we get the caduceus from. I don't know if I'm allowed to say that. They took down my first live when I said that out loud, but that's a serpent. This guy right here, that's another serpent around his staff. So this is who these people were giving giving an oath to. This is who they said that they were going to call down to be witnesses over this medical practice. Now, of course, that Hippocratic Oath changed in modern day, right? So this is the revised Hippocratic Oath. So the first one was besides the goddess, right? The gods and goddesses. That one was kind of like, okay, yeah, you're not going to do any harm or anything like that. Now, this is the revised Hippocratic Oath. I believe this one came out in like the 1960s or something like that. Quote, I swear to fulfill to the best of my ability and judgment this covenant. I will respect the hard-won scientific gains of those physicians in whose steps I walk, and gladly share such knowledge as is mine with those who are to follow. I will apply for the benefit of the sick all measures that are required, avoiding those twin traps of overtreatment and therapeutic nihilism. I will remember that there is an art to science. I can't read today. I will remember that there is an art to medicine as well as science, and that warmth, sympathy, and understanding may outweigh the surgeon's knife or the chemist's drug. I will not be ashamed to say, I know not, nor will I fail to call my colleagues when the skills of another are needed for a patient's recovery. I will respect the privacy of my patients, and their problems are not disclosed to me that the world may know. Most especially must I treat with care in matters of life and death. If it is given me to save a life, all thanks, but it may also be within my power to take a life. This awesome responsibility must be faced with great humbleness and awareness of my own frailty. Above all, I must not play at God. I will remember that I do not treat a fever chart, a cancerous growth, but a sick human being whose illness may affect the person's family and economic stability. My responsibility includes these related problems if I am to care adequately for the sick. I will prevent disease whenever I can, for prevention is preferable to cure. I will remember that I remain a member of society with special obligations to all my fellow human beings, those sound of mind and body as well as infirm. If I do not violate this oath, may I enjoy life and art, respect it while I live, and remember it with affection thereafter. May I also act as to preserve the finest traditions of my calling, and may I long experience the joy of healing those who seek my help. Exactly. I know. I see some of the comments. Exactly. Okay. Let me read. Let me read some of these. What's up, Dan Patrick? I feel like your name. Okay. I was like, does your name change every week? It's good to see you here. It's good to see you. You said maybe she could take a test and get the license. Exactly. Do you know they arrested her though? I mean, I get it, right? But they arrested her. So I don't know if she's still in jail or what's going on with that. The hospital can pull some strings and still hire her. Yes, they can. Yes, they can. But that sounds too much like right. Sounds too snakes. Exactly. Exactly. And see, why does this always pop up? Well, we know why it's always popping up, but it's funny how they're deemed as gods, but look like regular human beings. Exactly. Exactly. Uh, Panacea, aka penicillin. Yep. Wait, excuse me. Yeah. So I see, and it's subtle changes. It's subtle changes. At first, it's like, oh, we're not going to do any harm. We're not even going to give any medicine to pregnant women, especially, to harm the child, all that kind of stuff. To, oh, I can take a life if I need to. I got the power to take a life. And I think that's what we're seeing these days. Now, I feel like they're much more mad that this lady was practicing without a license. Once again, not having harmed anybody. Oh, that's almost 4,500 people that they said that she's treated in that time. And I feel like you're cracking down harder on her than you are on the people that are actually these angels of death that work in these hospitals, these people that literally prey on the sick and healing in these hospitals. Preying on them. Now, the Greeks were said to be the first to establish these medical schools. The first was on the island of Kos, where Hippocrates taught. And they're pretty much no different than the medical residences that we see these days. The change didn't come till the 12th or 13th century. So that's when we kind of started to see, like I said, at first it was, hey, you need to answer these questions by the public. They say during the Renaissance period is when the real shakeup happened, because once they started printing material, then medical knowledge became widely known. Once again, I told y'all, these people said that all they did was read medical journals. So this is what upset them. And this is when they started like really cracking down on it. They were like, oh no, no. Because like you said, they want to be the gods. They want to be the gods lording over people. But once medical knowledge started being printed, that's when you had healers come out, barbers, surgeons, midwives, herbalists, and all that kind of stuff. Then in 1518, the Royal College of Physicians in London, which we shouldn't be surprised about, that's when this is who started giving licenses out and regulating who could practice and who couldn't practice. Um, it's just crazy, y'all. Guess what? It says the real turning point came in 1910 with the publication of the Flexen Report. This report, commissioned by the Carnegie Foundation, evaluated medical schools across the United States and Canada. And what it found was pretty shocking. Many medical schools were little more than diploma mills with no labs, no clinical facilities, and sometimes not even patients for students to learn from. So what were they learning? Did you know that looking into the liver is a type of divination. Cutting people open and looking into the liver is a type of divination. Now, there are some civilizations where they would take the entrails out, and I did a video on this. They take the entrails out, they would shake it, and they would look at the blood splatter that it would cause, and that's how they would divine. That's how they would say, okay, this is a good omen, this is a bad omen, just weird stuff. But I don't even know if we're supposed to be doing this stuff. Yeah, I don't even think we're supposed to be doing this stuff to the extent that we're doing. Even skull, I don't remember what the type of definition is called, but even looking at the different types of skulls and trying to figure out, you know, this and that is a form of divination. So this is the stuff that they've passed down through these schools. So it pretty much ended up being an indoctrination camp. Now, I'm not saying that these people aren't skilled in what they're doing. I'm not trying to take away from them, but all I'm saying is the Hippocratic Oath has changed. You said she's probably banned forever from getting a license, though. Yeah. And if the hospital pulls screens, they might get pulled down too. Yeah. Yeah. And I know that they had to, obviously shut it down because it would look like they were in cahoots with her or allowing it to happen. But I still want to know what made them even start checking into her background in the first place. Like that's what's crazy. Greek letter organizations have agenda. Yeah. I don't know if Carnegie and all those were frat like that. I don't know if they were frat like that. They mad she exposed the fickleness of the facade of the medical industry. Exactly. That's what I'm saying. Somebody was hating. But again, my question is, is this something that, are you for or against it? Because this was another way for these elite people to get a monopoly on the medical industry, or just, in this instance, it's the medical industry, but this is just another way that they gained a monopoly on the industries that were being developed within the United States, the world. And they keep letting them do it. The same people, they keep letting these people do it. Hello, Freddie B. Good evening, good evening. Anyone who is not against them is a chip witch. Not really sure what that is, but who is ready for some Greek fun? This stream is right up your alley. You still on that mess? We still gonna talk about it too. I know, but guess what? You know why I'm gonna keep addressing it? Because new people come into the stream and come into the chat, and you're not finna defame me. That's not what you're gonna do over here. No. Hippocratic, aka hypocrite. Exactly. But they don't even check the roots. But yeah, I just thought that was crazy. So far, her performance states she deserves a license. Even the historical said she was good. Yeah, that's what I'm saying. If the public felt like she was being treated, and a lot of people were commenting like that. Well, she seemed like she cared more about, she cared a great deal about her patients. Great deal. Yeah, I know. I'm stay well, I ain't trying I'm not trying to, but like I said, you stay on that Greek stuff. Greek is gonna always come up. Frat and stuff is gonna always come up. Boule is gonna always come up because they're running the world. So if I'm talking about it, it's because they're running the world and you can't get away from it. Ever got a chance to research the hollow earth theory? I'm researching it, yes, but it's a little I found some tangents that needed to be pulled together from that. And so I'm just gathering that together. I just, yeah, obviously you've been following. I like to be thorough as possible. So yeah, I'm still researching that. Just trying to tie some loose ends with that. So it'll be coming. I have not forgotten about it. Not forgotten. Hospital says she was good. Oh no. How we know you ain't y'all are silly. Y'all are silly. Um yeah, so that was my thoughts on that. But that's serpent always, always. But speaking of, that Boule video is still getting tons and tons. So I cannot wait till this Egypt video comes together because yeah, already what I'm finding out, I'm like, I'm not even gonna say too much. I'm not even gonna say too much. I'm not even gonna say too much. Um, how do y'all feel about Christian Wilkins? Have y'all heard that story yet? Christian Wilkins played for the Raiders, and they just cut him from the team. He's being accused of trying to kiss on the guys in the locker room. And someone put together a whole compilation of him sexually harassing the guys on the football field. You know how, you go into the tackle. I'm sorry. Yeah, you get tackled. Well, this man was literally running up and digging in these men's booty. And I even saw one clip where he sniffed his fingers afterwards. They had to cut his behind from the team. Yes, doing gay stuff. He said, "Yeah, I heard about that mess, rainbow side of the game." Listen, this is why people have an issue. People don't have an issue with you being you, but people have an issue with what you being you is going to do to them. Right. Exactly. Yes. In the dog, exactly. I remember him fingering a dude on the field in the dog pile. Yes. Just some crazy, crazy stuff. It's a lot going on out here. Um, as far as now, I did a video and I was gonna post it. I probably still will, but I wasn't as moisturized as I wanted to be in the video, so I haven't posted it yet. But it was for Patreon. And have y'all seen that they want to actually start chromosomally testing people before they participate in sports now? Which is going to be some crazy, crazy. So just imagine, I mean, I don't know what the test is going to call for, but they're going to be, and I don't even know if they're going to be doing it to the men, which is all I've been seeing is that they're going to do it for the women. But they're going to be testing for to make sure that the women do not have the Y chromosome before they allow them to play sports. It's just going way too far. It has gone way too far. And what's crazy is even though this stuff is supposed to be getting shut down, I feel like it's being ramped up even higher. And it's almost I know that we have to go and get for y'all who were athletes, like I was. We have to get physician. I mean, we have to get physicals. That's nothing new. But how do y'all feel about them having to do genetic testing in order for you to play? And here's the thing. Here's the thing. You can't trust all these people with your DNA because they're doing crazy things with these DNA samples. And I think it's going to be easier for them to build, if they haven't already done it, which I guess we know that they are, but it's going to be easier for them to build an army of clones with people who are voluntarily giving their DNA to play sports. Because guess what? These are, what am I trying to say? These are supposed to be the well-built of society, the ones with the endurance, the ones with the strength, the ones with the speed. You could literally build a super soldier of clones just by taking the DNA from, I'm not trying to call them the best of the best. I'm not trying to say the athletes are above everybody, but I hope you guys know what I'm trying to say. People that have dedicated their lives to, like I said, strength and endurance and fighting and, things like that. Dwight was doing the same thing. Yeah. Now I think Dwight, I don't know if, see, was his consensual? It was almost seeming like except for the one guy whose junk that he grabbed, as he was sitting in the stands. I don't know if he knows these people. Like, I don't know if he knows these people. But yeah, I don't know if his is consensual, but this man, he was kissing on folks in the locker room. They're trying to make them more masculine. Eventually they'll have a bulge in their gym shorts. Whoa. Shoot. I don't even know what to say about that. I mean, they're already, I can actually understand that point of view, because they do not like the women who like men. Like if you're an athlete, but you still believe in motherhood and being married and all that, because they do not like you. These women are getting bullied, not only in the WNBA, but even if you guys are familiar with track, which I absolutely love track, Allison Felix had to come out and really campaign to be able to, I don't want to say it like weird, but have a child and still be sponsored by companies like Nike and things like that. They did not want her to do it. And she was like, no, I'm gonna have my family. So I can kind of see that. But that's crazy. Bold in the shorts. Genetic testing is stupid and doesn't make sense if we already know you're a boy and a girl based on medical records. So what's the poly? They're making so many, they're not good arguments by all means, but they have created some real soldiers in the movement. Have y'all been watching? I don't know who produces the debates. I don't know if it's Live Action or somebody else, but I hate to say this, but they have some real strong transgender advocates. And when I say that they're strong, I don't mean I mean to the point where if you are weak-minded, their arguments will win you over. And you will really start to believe, oh yeah, men and women should be able to compete with each other. Oh, and you know, because we're all just built so differently. Yeah, there's women that can beat men. And I'm not saying that there's not, but on average, it's not happening. But if you listen to these debates, and one of them that I can think of just stands out is, have you? I don't know if you know this guy by the name of Blossom. Do I have a picture of Blossom? Oh, you know what? No, I don't. I have a picture of somebody else. Satan is really building an army. That's all I can say. Satan is really building an army, and he's teaching them what to say. He's teaching them how to get over the arguments that we would make about being having being born a certain way. They're really, the whole assigned at birth is really kicking a lot of people's behinds. It's just a lot. It's just a lot. Genetic testing is stupid. Oh wait, I think I read that one. Jesse Owens was a member of Alpha Phi Alpha. Okay, was he? I mean, I don't even know what to say about that. He was a great runner. That's all I know. He was real fast, and I appreciate him for his speed. You said no, I think it wasn't consensual. Really? So you just reached, not you, but he just reached in the crowd and just grabbed a handful of junk that he didn't know? Heck no. That's way too much. Way too much. Spiders, eek. Caitlin Clark got essayed in the locker room on live Instagram video. The WNBA definitely doesn't like straight women. She got essayed? What happened? They need to leave that girl alone. They bully that girl every chance that they get. And she the only one keeping them alive. What? Yeah, let me look that up. Caitlin Clark. That's crazy. You said you saw that video? Oh my gosh, what happened? I must have missed it. Well, obviously I did miss it. That's a sin and a shame. He said Caitlin Clark was bending down, talking to the live, and one of the players got up behind her ear and started softly grinding up on her. Oh my goodness. I'm surprised that Caitlin rejected her. Don't Caitlin got a whole man? I think Caitlin got a man. She ain't with that. Yeah, she's dating Connor McCaffrey, assistant coach for Butler University's men's basketball team. Yeah, she ain't with the shenanigans behind her, not her ear. Oh, okay. Oh, I read behind her. Sorry, y'all. That's not right. That's not right. Yeah, she stood up real quick like she was finna salute. Oh my goodness. See that they know she can't do anything. Because if you get to fighting and doing all that stuff, she's going to get it from the LGBT community. They're going to start hounding her. Then she might lose her sponsorships because like I said, you just can't fight like that. Well, I guess the guys can. Nothing really happens to. But that's crazy. See, like I said, they just pick on people because they can. Nope. I would have been swinging. I'm assuming that, I don't know if they're making millions in the WNBA, but no, I would have had to take my little money and go sit down. because what you're not gonna do, they will call her homophobic and get banned from the WNBA. Exactly, and that's what's sad about it. That's what's sad about it. I even think that wait, a lot of stud muffin love in those NBA locker rooms. Yep. I even saw that there was a girl, I can't remember what city state that she was in, but she's a fencer and she refused to fight against the male who had bossed his way into the division. And they end up shutting the whole thing down. No longer have fencing. No longer have fencing. No, 99% of those girls are broke. She's making the most money out of all them. See, that's crazy. And they make it seem as though there are people that play sports just to play, but there are people that, as we can see, that this is actually their career. And there were people, middle school, high school, that had the same mentality. And so when they make it seem like, oh, it's just a scholarship, oh, it's just, this, it's just that, downplaying it, that's what really just grinds my gears. And I'm speaking as somebody who I felt like sports saved my life. Not really. I wasn't in danger or anything like that, but you have to maintain a certain grade level in order to play. So I made sure, like, okay, I want to be able to run track, I want to be able to dance, so I need to make sure that my grades are good. Because I hate homework. I hated all that stuff. I hated sitting in lectures and all that stuff, but you do what you need to do to get out of school. It's clear that lady fingers and feminism are two completely unrelated concepts. I don't know what lady fingers are. I don't know what lady fingers are. But no, that's crazy. But I think I think this is gonna literally, I think this is gonna literally, because the argument that they're making obviously is that, well, not all males are XY and not all females are XX, and they're bringing in the intersex issues. And I honestly think they're going to be able to make headway if they start testing people and more people are found out to not have the standard chromosomes that we know males and females to have. I think it's going to be a way for these transgenders to get both feet in the door. They got one foot in right now, but it's going to be a way to get both feet in the door. Yes, I saw that. They're thinking about I heard that they're thinking about not even allowing them to be on the court anymore. I guess we're gonna have to watch basketball by Zoom. I don't watch the WNBA. I'll be honest. I don't. So it won't be me. But you won't even be able to go to the games to watch them anymore because they don't want dildos being thrown on the field. But yeah, you said I'm still laughing at the recent events in the WNBA. Fans are throwing pleasure dongs out on the basketball court. Now, somebody said, well, how is it different from the men? I mean, I don't know how often things get thrown on the court at the men's game, but I'm pretty sure it happens. But what led to that though? What led to them throwing I'm trying not to be vulgar. What would you call them, pleasure dongs? What led to them throwing pleasure dongs onto the court? Was there something that happened? Sorry, I'm looking at that. Like, what is the issue? It's such an unreasonable argument to make. It really is. It really is. But again, because these children, I'll call them children, in these indoctrination camps are being told what to think instead of how to think, and they're just regurgitating whatever they've been told. There's man, I don't like I said, I don't know if you guys watch these debates. I watch them all the time, and it's the same rhetoric, the same rhetoric, the same rhetoric. There's nothing different about what they're saying. Oh, okay, okay. What led to it is because the WNBA keeps on complaining about equal pay as their NBA counterpart, but they don't realize that they are not as popular as the NBA. Yeah. Because I'll be honest, I don't hear about women in other sports complaining about pay. I don't know if it's a problem in other sports. I know that track runner make a lot of money. So I don't maybe they don't have that problem. Um, but yeah, they gotta stop the nonsense. Literally no one watched. They have been losing money forever. NBA pumps money to the WNBA just for it to still exist. Yeah, so they should be grateful. They really should be grateful. Um, but this is gonna be a weird question. But do you think they would get more support if they weren't all butch lesbians? Not all, but most butch lesbians. That's the question. Your fantasy video was very deep. I appreciate that. Yeah, it's a lot. Um, it's saddening. It's saddening, but yeah, it's a lot. And the thing is, people don't even understand where the movement began and how they are perpetuating what it was that Margaret Sanger wanted. They think it's just an idea that they came up with, it's just really saddening. It's really saddening. Yeah. The WNBA made the worst branding decisions I've ever seen. A lot of players wore "Let Her Cook" shirts. Oh my. Mm. Maybe the WNBA would be more popular if they weren't stud muffins. I doubt it though. Yeah, I'm just trying to think like what other places, because I'm thinking like what's that lingerie football? Men watch that. And I'm not saying that you have to be all scantily clad and stuff like that for men to watch you, but again, I'm just thinking that the women that don't mind being women are not having this issue in sports. Yes, the WNBA will get massive support if they promoted more beautiful women who can play ball. The issue is, in my opinion, the WNBA was made to promote masculine women. Yeah. I mean, it's going to be their downfall. And see, all this stuff goes hand in hand. Because if you have all these masculine women, guess what? Guess who's not getting married and having babies? Them. You've got all of this indoctrination. What a lot of what they're doing to women right now are is so that they will not get married and will not have children. The only way that we can lose in the population arena is if women decide that they are not going to have children. I see video after video after video of women getting on the camera, sometimes shedding tears, telling other women not to get married and not to have kids because they are struggling in relationships or they are struggling in motherhood. It's the craziest thing. And women, like I said, women, they're eating it up, eating it up, eating it up. It's weird because it all ties in. It doesn't look as though it ties in together, but it all starts tying in together. Literally, the WWE has all these women wrestlers, and we're making money. Those are beautiful women, and some aren't half naked. Yeah, but and here's the other thing. How did we get to the point where women felt like that's what they have to do? So I usually, come up and hang out with my parents on the weekends and stuff. And we were actually just eating lunch earlier. And all the women at the restaurant that we were at pretty much had on Daisy Dukes. I mean, tight, tight. One girl, she didn't even have the khaki shorts on that everybody else had on. She had on a khaki skirt, but it was right underneath her cheeks. And she had like, why? How did it become that women felt like this is what needed to be done? And what's crazy is the men are me like, no, it doesn't have to be done. They're like, no, you don't have to. But the women are like, no, no. I remember when I was a bartender and there was only 3 of us bartenders and then we had shot girls. Now the shot girls had these midriff tank tops on, but we had on polos. We had on polo shirts and I still banked every weekend. Polo shirt and jeans, some tennis shoes. But somehow, some way, it's all being turned into prostitution. I don't know. Those WWE female wrestlers are probably financially stable compared to the WNBA players. What's in beauty is a clear difference if we compare. I guess so, because like I said, I ain't never heard him say nothing. I'll go further. The majority of the it women in Hollywood all have masculine features. Oh my gosh, in my opinion, the last few years. Oh my goodness. To be honest, the only one that I can think of is Cynthia Erivo. Because I'm thinking about the past actresses and stuff. They weren't down bad like that. But they got her ball headed behind being pushed to the forefront. And she can sing, but she looks scary as I don't know what. But I'd be interested to know who you're talking about though. Um I think they're also trying to push the whole fluid, thing too. Because I hear the other argument that I hear from these trans is that, well, not all women look like women. Some look masculine. It's like, what the heck does that have to do with anything? They might be. They might look masculine, but that doesn't make them a man. It's all an agenda. This is off topic, but even in the movie industries, these companies are losing money, but their only focus is pushing an agenda. Look at the male characters being replaced by females. Yeah, exactly. And again, Cynthia is a prime example. They got her playing the yeah, exactly. And see, took the words right out of my mouth. Speaking of Cynthia Erivo, did you hear that she's playing Jesus Christ in a musical? Yep. Jesus Christ Superstar. They've been showing clips of it. She's got these, first of all, her fingers are already long. Um, and then she's got these long claw-like fingernails. And like I said, she's got that bald head with the septum ring in her nose and just looking like a dragon. And they had the nerve to have her playing Jesus. And people are like, well, what is the problem? You know, there are females that have played males before. It's like, uh. And people were making some great points. I bet she wouldn't play Muhammad. I bet she wouldn't play Buddha. She's only playing with Jesus. They only play with Jesus. It's frustrating. But yeah, they only Disney no, is Disney, who made the Elio? I guess he's supposed to be a little gay boy. They just made a cartoon about him. And I hear that, they're losing money. They didn't make any money off that movie. But are they going to change their no, they're not. No, they're not. They're not going to change it. Like you said, they're going to keep on pushing the agenda because somebody's going to listen. Somebody's going to fall for it. Oh, and another big one. Um, as if they didn't learn from the whole Bud Light controversy, they have put Dylan, what's his name, Mulvaney. They have put him as the face of Ulta Beauty. They, I don't wear makeup, so but I have to do some. For my contract job, I do some merchandising at Ulta, so I have to go in there at least once a month. And majority of the workers in there are men with faces of makeup. The managers are men with faces of makeup on. So they're even taking over the beauty stores. And this is what it's turning into. Whoa, whoa, whoa. I read a comment that I don't want to see right now. Hold on, hold on. Hold on. Hold on. I'll make the list for you, but also in the video game industry, they're making the female characters masculine. In the past, characters were feminine shaped. Now they're all flat chested, muscles all back for real. Oh my God. And you said that now Mario and Peach are platonic? I missed that whole thing. Oh my goodness. What was the reason? Oh, I missed that. You got me mad now too. So they just came out and said that what? Hold on, let me look this up. Oh my they help each other out, but their connection has always been platonic. So when he was going and saving Peach from Donkey Kong, I mean, I guess I, I'm hot. They don't want men and women to be together. Now you got me thinking back. I'm trying to think of all the Mario games where he had to rescue her, and I'm like, did they hold hands afterward? Did they kiss? Did they? Now I'm really trying to think back. Oh my goodness, doing way too much. Yeah, we all knew they were together. I know that's right. They're still together in my mind. You're not doing all of that for no. Come on now. In the latest Fantastic Four movie, the Silver Surfer is a female. In the Ghostbusters movie, an all-female cast. Oh my goodness. Also, the cartoon character, the Avatar, the main character, Korra, is a stud muffin. I oh man. I had no idea. That is just ridiculous. Men with makeup faces on. Oh yeah, painted. Oh yeah. Oh yeah. And nice guys, don't get me wrong. But and some of them even work at the makeup counters. They got the women on the floor kind of just walking around with the sprays or whatever, but the men are doing the makeup at the makeup counters. And they themselves have a full face on. Yep. Managers and all. Yep. She kissed Mario in a couple of them dang games at the end of the level. That's what I'm saying. And I'm trying to think, of N64. Well, I don't know why in my mind I see a heart when you beat the game, and they were all lovey-dovey. You know what? Got me upset. Just simp. I know, right? Wants Mario to be a simp. Yeah. That is ridiculous. No, I didn't know that they had been switching out all these characters. I mean, like I knew some, but all these ones that y'all are telling me, I had no idea that they have been doing this. Goodness. I mean, I don't know what to say. I did not know what to say. Vanessa Kirby, Cynthia Erivo, Julia Garner, Florence Poe. So far, I can say off the top, I don't know half of those people. I barely know Cynthia. The only reason I know her is because she's, out and about right now. Vanessa, I need to see these people. Kirby. Oh, yeah, I don't know who that is. You think she looks masculine? This Vanessa chick? I feel like I've heard about the Florence person, and I think I can agree with that one. Hmm. Oh wait, no, that's not who I thought it was. She does have a strong face. It might be the shape of her face though. She got a big head. She got a big face. Not to be mean, but she just does. I guess, y'all, this is crazy. Yeah, yeah, that's the jawline and all that. Yeah, for sure. And Julia Garner. I don't know any of these people. Who are these people? Uh-uh. Yeah, I mean, see, that's the thing. Again, so man, and see, that's the problem. They're gonna be able to be like, well, Florence looked like a man. So it's just crazy. Bella Ramsey. I must not watch any of this stuff. I don't know who these people are. Oh yeah, she's I mean, they just got big. They got big faces. That's funny, y'all. Y'all wrong. It's the subtleness that gets you. It really is. It really is. Mm-mm. Bella Ramsey has a big face. Have you seen the wrestler Brock Lesnar's daughter? Good Lord, she's a female version of him. No. I gotta look. I don't even know who Brock Lesnar is. Um, I can't tell you when the last time I watched some wrestling. Okay, I see him. Oh my goodness, I'm afraid to look at his daughter. Oh yeah, she got a big old head too. That's funny. Y'all are funny. They um they all were in at least a huge culture movie or TV show within the last year. Okay. Okay. Yeah, if it's not on YouTube or Tubi, I don't see it. I don't watch cable like that. I don't watch cable. Mm, that's crazy. Um, I mean, what can we do? What can we do? Last of Us, Thunderbolts, Weapons, Fantastic Four. They've been in a couple popular films. You know what? I just heard about Weapons. Have any of y'all seen that? I heard that it's a crazy movie. Um, but someone had posted the thumbnail for it, and but they said the ending wasn't good. So I don't know. I don't know if I should watch it. Is it something I should watch and take a gander at? When all but one this Okay, so when all but one child from the same class mysteriously vanished on the same night at exactly the same time. So supposedly at a certain time of night, all the kids in the neighborhood got up, went outside, and then disappeared. That's the only thing that I know about the movie. But I'm hearing it's a real weird one. Why do I feel like I've heard that story happening in real life? I feel like it's just been as a recent. No, they're saying it's not, but I don't know why I felt like I've heard that before. Yeah, I don't know. Well, no, it's saying that it is influenced by a real life tragedy. I always wonder about the writers of these movies. Like some of these movies be real weird. I'm like, what would possess you to write something like that or even think of something like that? Okay, so while a work of fiction, Weapons has some true story influences, according to renowned horror director Zach Krieger. It was inspired by some personal experiences and real life cases of missing children. Oh my goodness. Mm-mm. He said, "Wait, which movie you looked up that was based on real life tragedy?" They're saying this Weapons movie. It's up to you. Well, I'm not really. I don't want no. The only reason why I'm gonna say no is because we're on live and there's people in the chat. I don't know if they want you to spoil it, so I'm gonna go ahead and say no. Maybe we can have a private conversation, but I'll try to see where it's playing at and I'll try to watch it. But you said it's demonic. Mm. They can't help but to make demonic movies. But yeah, that's what they're saying. I don't. So yeah, man, yeah, I'm about to start asking questions. Let me be quiet because I'm like, what will possess them to get up and go out there? Remember the recent Star Wars movies and the latest main female character named Rey? She's known as Mary Sue type character. No, I'll be honest. I haven't seen any of the recent Star Wars movies. But what about her? I would definitely like to know. But based on your own question, you already asserted it. Yeah, I know. I want to know. Now, when you say Mary Sue, are you saying like as in like Ronell Hubbard's ex-wife, Mary Sue? You said, with that being said, I enjoyed the movie solid 8 out of 10. I prefer weapons over sinners. Oh, okay. I still haven't seen Sinners yet. Still have not. Um, you said don't is trash. I mean, that's what I've been hearing. I think the only reason why I wanted to see it, obviously, is just to see what everybody's talking about and kind of see the themes with, that are being spoken about in it. Because this Ryan, what's his name, Coogler guy, I feel like he's about to be a big force, just like Tyler Perry, because people are really, really starting to, and I don't even know who he was before. Never really heard about him, but he's almost got this whole praise and worship thing going on around him right now. Like he's the it guy. And if he in listen, remember how remember how Margaret Sanger had said that the only way that you can pretty much get to black people is through religion. They have to put they have to raise up more black people who are um atheistic and put them in the forefront, because that's the only way that you're going to take down a majority of the black population. Margaret Sanger knew it. A lot of people knew. A lot of people know it. So I think he's going to be one of those people that is going to, be at the forefront. And see, the thing is, he's leading with racial and human rights, that he's, addressing racial and human rights violations. So they're going to look at him like a god, and anything that he says is going to be gold. Mm-mm-mm-mm. Good. Don't watch the recent Star Wars movie. It pushes an agenda to make her all powerful by skipping the steps in order to become a great Jedi. Oh, okay. Okay. Um, yeah, it's a lot. It's a lot. they're coming at all angles. They're coming at us with the goddess angle, because they're going to have to put a woman at the top, because a lot of people believe in and worship the Queen of Heaven. And then again, they got the black angle, like I just said. They got putting the atheistic black people at the forefront to talk about spirituality and getting us back to, ancestor worship and all that kind of stuff. They're coming at us from the sodomite agenda. I mean, we're getting hit from all sides. All sides. I saw Together too, which is demonic too and esoteric. I haven't heard about that movie, Together. All sides. Unfortunately, they raise up a Black Messiah type figures, but do so in an anti-God, I'm enlightened, past the barrier of white Jesus type of way. Exactly. Yep. And a lot of people can't get past that, and they won't get past that, because the only pictures that have been depicted of so-called Jesus are of white with long hair. And this one girl even argued, I've seen Jesus. I'm like, girl, no, you haven't. And she was talking about the pictures that she's seen. I was like, what? He said, hey, yo. Yes, a lot of Black people are talking that ancestor worship. Tariq Nasheed is always talking that Ogun stuff. Oh, is he? See. And there's going to be no way for you to combat that argument if you do not. Why? There's going to be no way for a lot of people to combat that argument. Why? Because Samaria, Mesopotamia, you've got one of, the first civilizations that have been written about, and they all worshipped other gods. They all worshipped idols. So you really can't, there's really no way. What am I trying to say? They're actually right. They are right in a way that maybe their lineage did worship the ancestors and all these other idols. But they have to realize that there was other tribes that didn't. And they make it. And here's another thing. You've got a lot of people see, and I know people, they mad at me when I say it, but a lot of people see Catholicism as the religion that Jehovah gave to Abraham and passed it down. And so you have a lot, because you'll hear people say, well, the only reason why our ancestors believed is because they were forced. They were being killed off and things like, I'm like, nope, I think you got it all. You got history mixed up. Jesus and his disciples weren't killing nobody and forcing them to convert. He was feeding people. He was healing people. He was talking to people in the temple, giving them the doctrine that people were believing off of that. And people were believing because of the scriptures that had been passed down since the Old Testament. They already had a word that was written. It wasn't new to them. They knew exactly what to expect, and they had been waiting on it. And so when Jesus finally showed up, they knew who he was. And people get that mixed up. They're very ignorant about that. It wasn't just this fly by night type of, oh, we're just following this man because no, they were waiting on him. Their fathers had told their fathers, and they were waiting. Their spiritual moral argument is based on physical time reference, which is the dumbest thing. My religion is older, so it must be better. But that actually makes the argument worse, because I'll wait for the rest. But yeah, exactly. And you're right. That is a big argument that they make. But if we go by that logic, I think the Indian religion, you know, obviously after the Mesopotamian civilizations was one of the first religions. So should we all be believing in Buddha and Brahma and all them? And these were people that didn't even walk the earth. And that's the crazy thing about it. Most of these religions are worshiping people or so-called gods that didn't even come into physical existence. So it's just, but they're gonna, I mean, listen, that movie I was watching earlier, and I showed you all the screenshot of that pamphlet in the back, that flyer in the background. These people want whatever they got going on to happen within the next 10 years. That sign said 2035 is when they want to be able to build the civilization on Mars. And they are getting this knowledge from so-called Martians and Venetians. They think that this word is coming from whatever beings that they worshipped who live on these stars. So just as we had the word that was passed down, they have a word that has been passed down. So they're not wrong in what they're saying, but the question comes down to who is the true God? Because there can only be one. Logically, there can only be one. If there's a large quantity of your religion having to be physically written down and spread, that means by pure common sense that it must have been a new way of living that was against the status quo. Yeah. I mean, because most religions don't work like that. Most religions started orally, because they didn't have the writing system at the beginning. Meaning at a certain point in ancient history, everyone knew there was one true God. But over time, they started ushering in new religions that ignorant people try to quote or reference as the earliest findings of a most oldest religion. Yeah. And again, we've been going through a lot of religions. I don't know if y'all been paying attention, but we've been touching on a lot of religions. There's a lot more that we still can break down, but a lot of them believe in what they may call the Great Spirit. And if you notice, it's always a spirit. It's always a spirit. Until you get to maybe Hinduism and stuff, where everything is God, and the plant is God and the rock is God and all that kind of stuff. Other than that, they knew, like you said, they knew that God was a spirit. The Native Americans knew it. Like, agreed. Like the Highlander, there can only be one. Can only be one. So their argument actually works against their overall. It's just not. It's just not thought all the way through. It's really just not thought all the way through. I was having a conversation with this guy, and he pretty much was saying, "Oh, there's no evidence for God, blah blah blah," and he was trying to say that God is only a philosophical thought. And he pretty much stopped talking after that. He was upset and he stopped talking after that. But I just sit back on that and really, really try to understand what he meant by that. And I get it because if the spirit is the mind, the wind, breath, I get why he would say that. But the thing that he is missing is that the word became flesh and dwelt among us. What he was missing is that although God said, let there be light, and those were just words, it was a thought first and then there were words, he was actually able to manifest the light. He was actually able to create a sun and a moon and the earth and the water, all that stuff. It wasn't, I hope y'all understand what I'm saying. So it didn't just stay in the thoughts of God. He was actually able to make it. And I hate that I did not say that. I hate that I didn't say, but the word became flesh. But now I know. But now I know that if somebody ever hits me with that point again, I know I'll know what to say. But I had to really sit and think about what he could why he would say that. Their logic is equivalent to someone now 100 years later saying us in 2025 worship transgenders because there were findings and writings and digital footprints of them throughout our modern society. Yeah. But again, yeah. But the problem is that because they do not see him, they do not believe. And that's all throughout scripture. We know that that's the reason why they don't believe, because they always tell you, you don't have no evidence. You don't have evidence. What's the evidence? It's like, look around you. And you can't say that there is no evidence for God if you don't even know who God says he is. So it's deep. It's deep, but this is going to be what causes a lot to fall away. All these things that we're talking about in this last 30 minutes or so, all of these reasons are going to be the reasons why people fall away, or it's the reasons why people have fallen away. And if you're not equipped, you'll fall just like they will. We don't see the digits on our debit cards, but we still work, right? And yeah, and like you said, and nowadays you don't even have to have paper money. It's just electronically sending funds back and forth. So all this stuff is just, it's just made up. We don't see crypto, but millions and billions is pumped into it. Exactly. They'll believe in all this stuff. But in order to but saying that, okay, you got to have a mind in order for you to invent something or create something, there has to be a mind first. It's baffling to them. They're like, wait, what? It makes no sense to them. Knowing that they themselves have to do it, knowing that they themselves, before they speak, before they write, that thought is there first. And we weren't here at the beginning. So we doggone sure didn't think about this stuff that's in creation. Spirituality is unseen science. You can't see it, but you can feel it. I mean, yeah. And these days, I think spirituality is just such a broad term, because people will say, well, I'm spiritual, but I'm not religious. And I think by that they mean that they don't have a set of rituals that they perform, even though I don't think that's what religion means. But like I said, I think that's what they feel like it means. But then the question becomes, okay, what spirit though? What spirit is influencing you? Because God said that He breathed the breath of life into all of us, and that each one of us have our own spirit that the next man can't see, the next man can't discern. So, in order for you to know someone else's spirit, they have to give you the information. So, where are you getting the information? What spirit is giving you the information? The Bible says they will want to believe the lie. That's scary because that's exactly what we are seeing. Oh yeah. Oh yeah. Like watch some of these and I know I post them every now and then, but watch some of these debates that they have with people just on the street, right? Just regular smuggler people on the street. They'll ask them a question. Just listen to them. Listen to their thought process. And you'll see exactly what Nope is saying. They want to believe a lie. They do not want it to be true. Why? I mean, I get it because, well, I get what the Bible says about them loving the darkness rather than the light. You know, their deeds are evil, so they'd rather, but I don't know. I don't know. I don't know why you would want to believe a lie rather than the truth. Spirituality is more accurate than science at this point. Science now saying men and women are the same. And that's why when I'm having conversation with people, I'm like, see, science is knowledge. In in etymology, science and knowledge share the same exact root word. So when people are saying, "Oh, well, science will figure it out," or they say, or they'll try to tell me that science is changing, I'm like, no, that don't make sense because knowledge is is facts, demonstratable facts. So why would a fact wouldn't be changing? A fact wouldn't be changing. But that's what they've convinced themselves of, that facts change, you know, even though once again it defies the laws of logic. Truth doesn't fail. That's the definition of truth. There's no weakness in truth. That means it's supposed to be that way so that you can stand on it and rely on it and and have faith in it. That's what those words all mean when you put them together. So for them to try to convince us that facts are unstable, we should, it's ridiculous. People believe the sensational lie over the simplistic truth. Yeah, because they have that dumb saying that um they say extraordinary claims require extraordinary evidence or something like that. Have you all heard that before? And it's like, no, it doesn't have to be that way. I think that the truth is pretty simple. I mean, you would think it's pretty simple. It's funny the world said science is the knowledge, but the Bible stated there are two different forms of knowledge. Um and yeah, and it also says science so called. There's science and then there's science so called, which means that God is acknowledging that these people have you know, what they think is, excuse me, science. But it's not so. Opinions are like a-holes. Most people don't want to hear about yours. No, they don't. No, they don't. Most people are tards today. No common sense. No, I agree with that. I definitely agree with that. And it's sad to say. It's sad to say. Yeah, I've heard that saying. They are forever learning, but never coming to the truth. Yep. Exactly. That's a bar. Exactly. And they literally will say that too. They're like, oh, well, we might find it out in thousands of years. It's like, wait, what? So why would you call it science now if you haven't even figured it out yet? That means you haven't observed it yet. You want to tell us that science is, observable, testable, blah, 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 but you haven't observed it yet. I know, right? Didn't he? Cam came into the chat, no brakes, full 100 miles per hour. And that's why we like Cam. Good evening, sir. Good evening. Yeah, y'all. It's crazy. It's crazy. You said I missed half the show. I had to make up for that note. Yeah. But that's what's going on in the world. And more I like to see that more and more channels though are speaking up, really putting the knowledge out there. Cool. Have a great dinner. Thank you for being here. See you soon. They always say in the latest advancement of science, then how is it factual? Yeah, exactly. Most of what we are taught, there's still theories. Most of what they say are facts are just still theories. And most of them are theories based on what they learned from these fallen angels. These fallen angels are teaching these people stuff, convincing them of how they should be. And I've been asked to break down the gods and goddesses of these fraternities and sororities, and I absolutely will. I absolutely will. And once you see, as we have with like Baal and Nimrod and all that kind of stuff, you're going to see that showing up today. You're going to see the influence about what these gods and goddesses have been teaching. And a big thing, a big culprit is Pharaoh. It's something real deep about the pharaohs in Egypt. Not only are we seeing that they were supposedly the ancestors to the elites that we have now, the ones in the Freemasons and the elites that are running the world, but now it's starting to trickle down to the I don't know why the first word that came to my mind is peasants. I'm not a peasant, and y'all are not peasants either. I don't know why that was the first thing that came to mind, but that's what they look at us as. So it's matriculating from the elites, the kings, down to us peasants. Not for real, y'all. But like I said, we've been doomed since Mount Herman. Yeah, I mean, pretty much. Pretty much. This is going to be a weird question, but I wonder, because Satan was thrown down. He was thrown down to the earth. Because he could no longer be in heaven trying to exalt himself over God. What if he had, man, what if he had never came down? It's like, was there nowhere else for him to go? And I'm not blaming God. Don't get me wrong. I'm not trying to blaspheme. I'm just, I know there was good reason, but, and we were warned. He down here on this earth and in this water acting a fool. Hold on, we really think alike, because I was just watching The Mummy. Hold on, sorry. I was just watching The Mummy 2017, and they were talking about barrels and stuff being in the pyramids for a large plan. Shoot, I feel like I watched the movie not. I know I feel like I've watched the movie within the last several months, but maybe I have to watch it again to see that barrel part. But yeah, pyramids are. Yeah, there's some real deep stuff with them pyramids. And Joab, he stands before God in heaven to accuse him, so he definitely still had access to after the fall. Yeah, he did. He did. He was able to go. Yep, he was. You're right. So you just answered my question. You just answered my question. It's crazy. It's crazy. But what do y'all think about the whole nuclear reactor that they're determining to build on Mars? I mean, Mars obviously keeps coming up, and we know why. But do you think that that is going to have? Do you think that that's going to cause some type of disaster that we're going to? I guess that would lead to a prophecy from the end times. I'm trying to think of what. I guess I'm trying to think about the revelations, right? I'm trying to think about the prophecies and what if that would have an effect on any of the ones that have been revealed to us. If you're not familiar with what I'm speaking about, NASA, and if I'm not mistaken, this is per instruction from Trump. Not sure about that. But they are going to put a nuclear reactor on Mars so that they can create civilization there. Nuclear reactors are what power nuclear power plants. You said Event Horizon, the movie. I haven't seen it. So you gotta let me know what went on in that movie. Um yeah, I'm just wondering what's gonna happen. Doom. Proud peasant. Listen, you're right. I would rather be a proud peasant to be than to be one of them. Absolutely. I couldn't be that evil. Absolutely not. A rescue crew is tasked with investigating the mysterious reappearance of a spaceship that has been lost for 7 years. Um, I don't know. I guess right now I'm thinking about Wormwood. You said Doom, right? I'm thinking about Wormwood. I'm thinking about all kinds of stuff that would happen, like if one of those nuclear reactors would blow while it's up on the moon. Now, again, those of you all on Patreon, y'all know that I did a little breakdown about um I did a little breakdown about it. About the meltdown that the reactors can cause, or nuclear power plants. And I don't know. I really don't know. 'Cause I guess I have questions that are tying me into this next lesson too. We really stuck here with idiots. And the thing about it is that they are idiots, but they are these are subtle creatures, just like a serpent. They are the children of the serpent. So that's why the plan that they have put in place, it's working. Yeah, and see, that's kind of where I was thinking. You said they're finna blow up Mars, and that might be wormwood that falls down here. Yeah, that's what I'm thinking. Because unfortunately, wormwood, when you look up the etymology of it, hold on, let me pull it up real quick. It doesn't really give you too much. It tells you that it's bitter. It's what can make waters bitter. There's only, let's see here. It occurs 9 times in the Bible. I don't know why it's not showing me the. Oh, yeah, there it goes. There it goes. Okay, let me go to the star of wormwood. And wormwood is a star. Are y'all familiar with wormwood? I don't want to just talk and people don't know what we're talking about. So, in the book of Revelation, let me read it real quick, just so that we are all on the same page. Okay, this is Revelation 8 and 10 through 11. It says, "And the third angel sounded, and there fell a great star from heaven, burning as it were a lamp, and it fell upon the third part of the rivers and upon the fountains of the waters. And the name of the star is called Wormwood. And the third part of the waters became wormwood, and many men died of the waters because they were made bitter." Okay, so end of time. One of the things that's going to happen, the star is going to fall from the heavens. Could you imagine? I don't even know. Sometimes I think I want to be here, till the very end, and see the Lord coming in the clouds. And then sometimes I'm like, heck no. What if I saw that big old star barreling towards Earth? Oh my goodness. Oh my goodness. I would pass out. I would pass out. But anyways, yeah, there's really nothing else other than it meaning a type of bitterness and figuratively calamity. But the Lord, he don't just talk figuratively. Like, yes, it's figuratively, it's going to be cause calamity, but I think there's a real star that's going to fall. He said, because God not finna do something like that. He only jump in once the spirit has been taken away. Yeah, true. Ooh, that's a good point. He said, I support you. I call myself a peasant. My ego too big. If it's a poisonous, could be radioactive, which could be the bitterness that kills people. That's a really good point. Because here's the thing. They want us to believe that Mars is so far away, but there's a lot of evidence to show that the moon is within the dome. So if it, I mean, yeah, like you said, it could blow up and fall on our head. Let me see. Radioactive water pollution. Let's see. And it's already happened. Apparently, it happened in the Fukushima when their nuclear power plant blew up. So this is not the first time that Chernobyl is not the first time that a nuclear power plant has blown up. Fukushima, I think this happened at least 3 times. Okay, let's see what happens if it gets into the water. It's not giving me any information. Oh, pretty, it's gonna cause genetic mutations, diseases like cancer. It damages your eggs and your sperm. Goodness gracious, tears up your liver. They always doing something ain't got no business. China already has a base on the moon. CIA confirmed this. Really? How do they figure that? How many people do they plan on fitting on the moon? I mean, I know that might be just a rhetorical question, but how did they think a lot of people gonna fit on the moon? And not only that, did you see the temperatures? How did y'all feel about that? I know not everybody's on the on it, but they said that the temperatures of the moon get to be about 200 degrees Fahrenheit in the daytime and minus 400 degrees at nighttime. So first of all, my question is, how in the heck did the astronauts survive up there? I know they said that they were only up there for a short period of time and that their suits were so insulated that they could, you know, not be affected. I just don't believe that. I really just don't believe that. He said, oh, so humans just stupid. The thing is that they think that they are being smart. They think they're being smart. Please pray I get this job, medical assistant. We definitely will. Definitely hope you get it. And I will be praying for you. I will talk to the Lord tonight. I don't think there's other planets. I subscribe to the dome. Yeah, I'm starting to think, and matter of fact, I'm also I'm kind of skeptical of the planet in itself. Like these might be stars. Because when you hear about these I would say elites, yeah, the elites that are like I said, talking to these beings from other so-called planets, I feel like at times planet and star is used interchangeably. Like they'll say, yeah, from Mars, but they don't say the planet Mars. It's just Mars or Jupiter. And then they always speak about it as being a star cluster. So I don't know. You said, yeah, I'm switching teams. I'm Chinese now. Oh no. Yeah, they said it's on the dark side. Really? So they're just wandering around in the dark. Makes sense. Makes sense. We ain't Transformers making about this. Mm-mm. Well, we can't go back to the moon. We lost the tech, like your favorite penny. That's what they say, but so how that's what they said. That's what they told us. And that's why they couldn't produce any evidence that they had been to the moon. I think they said that they destroyed all the tapes or some stupid like that. Who would destroy? Y'all claimed to have strove to get there. You were even trying to beat the Russians and all them up there. And you're not going to keep the footage from y'all going? That don't add up. That doesn't add up. I'm not playing with you. Nope. You over here with these Chinese characters. He said, I ain't finna end up like that unlicensed lady, right? I'm low key mad for her. Yeah, we don't want you to do that. We do not want you to do that. I agree that planet stars are former dark of the moon. Yeah, unfortunately, I guess we got to see what they got planned. But I mean, we're about to be in 2026. So if their timeline is 2035, that's right around the corner. Years go by fast. So they're gonna have okay. And sorry, I took myself off this tangent. If they don't have the technology to go, so I think somebody's lying, or they're gonna just come up with this technology. They're just gonna find it again to go back. Uh, I don't know. And shoot, I hope they. I'm like, is the Lord gonna shut this down before they even get up there, or are we gonna see this? We just never know. We just never know. And I don't know. I just keep hearing. I don't know. It's seeming like more and more. Because I know I told y'all plenty of times that I'm kind of just sitting back, trying to wait and see who's who. But I'm definitely hearing Trump's name a lot more in these shenanigans. I don't think we ever went. I think we BS for a moral win. We couldn't allow Russia to win of going to the moon first back. Then the moon program prevented a massive war. Yeah, I just don't know how it's possible. I guess it's just not something I can wrap my mind around. And then again, after I found out what the temperature is like up there, I'm like, I just don't see I just don't see us surviving in that type of weather. And those look like I don't know. Speaking of, nope, were you able to look up Chuck Schumer or whatever his name is? I think it's Chuck Schumer. So I posted on the post. I told y'all last week on the live that I was going to find out who it was that I saw kissing that little black girl on the island. And it come to find out it was the senator, I believe he's from New York, Chuck Schumer. And the kick is people are actually writing and tagging him. Like, I saw you kissing that little black girl on the island. Dead on Twitter, like just blatantly tagging him in it. You think this fool is in jail? No. The picture is still there. The picture is still, yes, it's terrible, right? It's definitely terrible. Not something that you just want to keep gazing at. But the fact that this man is tagged in it and he is still walking around free. He does look evil. He looked like he did some mess like that. It's crazy. And he's still in, I think he's still a senator at that. Yes, he's still a politician. This is how deep the rabbit hole goes. This man is still in office. Caught in 4K and they don't for real. And I'm not even gonna say, oh well, if it was somebody else, it don't even matter who it is. And people are voting him in. I mean, maybe they don't know. Maybe they don't know. Because I mean, how would you know unless you're in the loop? But you could doggone sure see him tagged in the picture and tagged in the caption. I saw you kissing a little black girl. And no one is saying anything. No one's calling for his execution. Craziness. Oh, and guess who his cousin is? I'm just looking at it right now. Guess who his cousin is? Amy Schumer. You know what Amy Schumer is a big advocate of? Abortion. She loved killing off little babies, even though she has a child of her own. This is a shame and a sin and a shame. Crazy part is the grand scheme of things, he's a low-level participant. So if they doing that evil just to be a politician, it must be super worse high up. For sure. For sure. Because we know what they do on these islands. Matter of fact, where is this little girl at? Is she even still alive? Or did they release her into the forest and hunt her down and kill her like they do? They play games with these people's children. They release them into the forest and they hunt them down and kill them. Babies too. They'll even give the babies a head start to crawl as fast as they can to wherever. And he's still walking around. They said Schumer moved to Long Island with oh wait, that's Amy. She was voted class clown and the teacher's worst nightmare. I'm not surprised. I'm not surprised. I'm not surprised. This is just ridiculous. But this is who's running the world. Mm-mm. I saw a human hunting video with that guy from Rat Race with the tongue piercing in the early 2000s. Guy from Rat Race. I don't know who was all in. I remember Cuba Gooding Jr. was in that. Hold on, I got to get to the cast because I don't know who that is. Now, when you say you saw a human, was he what was he doing in the video? Like he was, yeah, I'm just going to ask, what was he doing in the video? Who has you said he has a tongue piercing. Who has a tongue piercing? Ew, and there's some other crazies in here too. Ugh. Is it Seth Green? Because Seth Green likes chicken. If you see my pizza party video, Seth Green likes chicken. I even started to watch Can't Hardly Wait yesterday because I like to just watch. I put movies on usually that I've already seen if I can, so that I can write, just some background noise. And I was like, I cannot watch this movie anymore because this pervert is in it. Just can't bring myself to do it. Like I love Forrest Gump, but I cannot bring myself to watch Forrest Gump anymore. Yeah, I don't know who the guy with, but I want to say I feel like it's Seth Green because I remember him having a piercing, but it wasn't. I don't remember it being his tongue though. The elites hunting people for sport. They sure do. They sure do. Whoa, 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 whoa. You can't fake brain matter splatting like that, and it's easy to tell when something is real versus stage. Oh my god. Oh wait, I missed something. Ew, that's nasty though. Is that what you saw? The Hunt, Hunger Games, Ready or Not, Squid Games. They've made multiple movies about rich people hunting. Yeah, they have. And then they made shoot, I can't think of that movie right now. But the movie that was literally based off of them taking people to the woods and hunting them down. Yeah, they again, truth in plain sight, like we've been saying. That's the same reason Al Gore got taken down. A lot of videos of elites doing sacrifices and stuff got put on there. Oh, really? Yeah, I've heard him that he's at rituals where babies are eaten. Yeah. These people are nasty and sickening. And the character's name was Dwayne in the Rat Race. It was a movie of him hunting a person running through the woods. Okay, give me a second. I'm about to look that up. Dwayne. I just saw his name. Hold on. Yep. I knew it. I knew it. I knew it was Seth Green. Ugh. As soon as I saw his name on the cast, I already knew who it was. Sick individual. Oh my goodness. Before the internet was big, you could come across some videos people thought would never be seen by people. Yeah, because I never knew anything about that. That's I can't believe they had that on the internet. Mm. That's why a lot of these people are messed up. They've seen way too much. Oh yeah, Seth Green ain't there. A video of him saying something wild. I forgot. So without saying too much, because like I said, I've already made a video on it, but who was that said they had been to his house? Dang, I don't know why I'm it's late. I'm drawing a blank. But anyways, long story short, Seth Green and his wife invited their friend, another fellow actor, to the home, having dinner, all that good stuff. And then Seth Green reveals that he likes chicken. And so the other actor who was invited, had no idea what that meant. And so then Seth Green goes and shows him this secret door or whatever behind a bookshelf or something like that. And he's let him know, like, this is where we keep the children. And so that's when the other actor realized that Seth Green was in fact a PEDO. Him and his wife. Him and his wife. The girl that did wardrobe for him gave an interview about him telling her he hunted the biggest game. That's what it's called. Hunted the biggest game a handful of times. The biggest, hardest game is humans. Thank you for saying that, because that's the name of the movie. Or something like that. It's close to that. The biggest game. It's something like that. I'm looking it up. I just like to be accurate, just in case you guys want to watch this, because I literally watched the movie before I did that human hunting video, because I wanted to see what these people are about. What is it called? No, it's not the big. Is it the wildest game? I'll find it before I get off of here. I might just have to go to my note. There's a lot of those in Hollywood. Yeah, sure is, unfortunately. But that's what they gave to us. I mean, but the word actor is a hypocrite. So, I mean, are we really surprised? We shouldn't be. I'm gonna go to my notes now. Streamers and YouTubers are the new celebs. It's creepy now. Like, yeah. Yeah, I mean, yeah. Um, I think what's creepy is the whole influencer, because it's telling you exactly what they're trying to do. And unfortunately, I've seen some of the craziest, I guess, influencer videos. Um, and also what's crazy is a lot of them are dying. A lot of these influencers, so-called, are dying. I don't know what that's about, but there, I'm sorry, I had to get to my notes. Elite human hunting parties. Because I cannot think of that movie. The most dangerous game. That's the exact name of the movie. The most dangerous game is literally the movie, um, or it's a book and a movie, but about a guy who people come to the island. He asks them if they want to play a little game. They're like, yeah. And next thing you know, they're in the Hunger Games. There's a company called Progressive Victory that pays YouTubers to say stuff aligned with their agenda and views. See, I didn't know what the name of the company was called, but I definitely heard that about these influencers. I mean, it's just another way of selling your soul, ain't it? Yes, the movie where they hunt people. Yes, The Biggest Game. It is. It's a play on, yeah, what the elites do. Most notably, the Ninth Circle Satanic sacrifice cult. They all have islands. Yep. Sorry, I had to skip just so I can read that. Okay. They are signing to the same managers and corporate entities. And now don't want to be a content creator because now they're a known glass ceiling. And if you don't know a high up, you can get deleted. I mean, I can see that. Unfortunately. Um, and there was one specifically, there was a girl, she was doing a lot of blind items, especially around the time. I think she had did a lot of blind items about Diddy that end up being true. and then she's died all of a sudden. Like now on Twitch and YouTube, if you aren't in their elite content creators, they will delete your channel without any hesitation. Oh, that's so sad. It's so sad because people put in, I mean, I say people, but it takes a lot of work. It takes a lot of work to put some of this stuff together. Now I know there's a lot of AI out there and a lot of people use that chat GPT and all that stuff, but for some of us who don't use those type of things, it takes a lot of time for you to just delete somebody's stuff because you don't want the information getting about. Craziness. So I've been keeping track, and every time a content creator visits Aiden Ross, they blow up and get famous. It's giving Clive Davis. Yeah, I've seen that. Um, and I've seen he's into some stuff too, so I don't know. Yeah, they always pick one person that you got to go through. Say, wow, I'm back. Sorry about that. My dinner was pizza. Oh, no, it's no problem. I love me some pizza. Let's see. There's a book called Island Games that's about the elites hunting people, and it names politicians and stuff. If I remember correctly, it was written in 1983. I can't remember the name it's written under. Let me see. Let me see. Um, Island Games. Let's see. No. It's not pulling up. Well, it's not pulling up that. I don't know. So I'm gonna have to look into that. But you know they like to scrub stuff off the internet, so I don't see it. Nope, Aiden asked for the pooper. Does he really? I feel like I think I have seen him do some weird stuff. Um, Supposedly the guy who wrote the book came across the info because he golfed regularly with a guy who went there. Oh my goodness. The two books that really exposed reality was 1984 and Behold the Pale Horse. Yeah. You know, a lot of people got to talk about um and what happened did like why was George Orwell able to speak so freely? I really don't know anything about his biography. I'm looking it up right now, but I remember having to read Animal Farm in school. I want to say that we read 1984 in school. Um, but why was he able to just sell their business? How did he even die? Was it under mysterious circumstances? Oh, Orwell's will requested that no biography be written of him or his widow. Oh, okay. So we're not even gonna be able to find out too much besides what. Oh, yeah, I really don't know why he was allowed to talk because it seemed like he wasn't. He was definitely against a lot of the things that the elites are pushing. He was in the part Junior Anti-Sex League. He opposed. Oh wait, by opposing sexual relations. Oh wait, encouraging artificial insemination. He was against homosexuality. He was calling people pansies and Nancy's in his books. What? Yeah, I don't know how they. I really don't know how they let him get away with what he did. What he said. He and that guy. Sorry, he and that speed guy did a ritual live. Oh, really? Him and Aiden Ross. Now I've only seen the. I think his name is I Show Speed. Just the whole shower scene, which was super weird. That's the only thing I've seen of him. Super weird. The guy Speed participated in a humiliation ritual and blew up 10 times. Yeah. Whoa. Okay, I might have seen that. Aiden turned Speed bisexual when he set him up with a transgender. There's a video of Speed, transgender, and another guy coming back on the live stream with their shirts. Oh my goodness. With the shirts off and sweat and looking guilty? For real? Oh my goodness. Prime, Speed, Casanat, Convoy, Sias, Bilou, Your Rage, Neon, all of them. And what's so crazy is that Casanat is really, really trying to convince people that he's not down for selling his soul. So I don't know if he thought it was just for play when he was getting in the shot with that boy, but mm-mm. Heck no. And then you see Ray J dang on there begging to be in the shower. Even Cam Newton, he just had an interview with Cam Newton the other day, and he was all like, "Yeah, they wouldn't let me get in the shower with him." And Cam looked at him like, "Are you gay?" And Ray J was like, "How? Why would you ask me that?" And he said, "Because you're asking to be in the shower with another man." And what's so crazy is that Cam, he's saying this all while his legs are crossed and all this stuff. Now, I don't think that Cam is funny. I think he just dresses funny, but like, yeah, you on that weird stuff. You got to be gay to play. Nope. In the industry, I'm heterosexual, so basically grounded. No playing for me. Basically, I shall speak, aka I shall meet. Oh my goodness, is a puppet, just like the rest of. Y'all are so funny. No, it's hard to find that video now. You have to really seek it out. It popped up in my recommend. I can't talk. Recommended for like 2 months. Wow. And this is. Hold on. Let me see if I can duck go it. Let's see if it comes up. This is crazy. Y'all be giving me some crazy stuff. Over results. We said the fact that Ray J doing all that should tell you a lot. Yeah. Just like with Kai, I think he's trying to. It's like he's trying to convince people that what's going on is okay, and so if anybody else wants to do it, they'll feel okay to do it. I don't want to keep saying okay again, but yeah. And Ray J, he's always talking about the agency and all that kind of stuff. I can't believe what he's become. I'm so disappointed. It looks like there might be one channel that still has it. But you said that they were in a room, they went in the back room or something. Okay, no, this is not it. But doesn't he do that often? Doesn't he set them up with transgenders often? I feel like I've seen him do that with more than one person. Let's, I give him the business on his own live. Good Lord, taking a shower with another man while promoting jail is a no-no in my book. It's an agenda to push young men to prison. Ooh, and for private companies to make profit. Ooh, mm-mm. Nope, I had a friend who was a decent rapper. He went to LA, came back, and never spoke about music again. I asked him what happened. He looked at me with fear in his eye on it. He said, "I'm not about that life." Wow. That's a shame. That's a shame. That's a shame. Aiden Ross still has it up on his channel. Okay, I'm gonna have to check it out when we get off of here. He never explained further. I asked what, but I think I already knew. He was excited before going. He got invited to a party, but never spoke about that fun time. Wow. Aiden Ross confronts Ava and Prime about then acting strange. Name a video, I guess. Okay, I'll definitely look that up. What does it profit the world? I mean, what does it profit a man to gain the world and lose his soul? It's a shame. Yeah, one of the guys that my husband went to school with was a Diddy victim in the latter years, like in this recent years. I guess he was his assistant or something like that. My husband's like, I don't feel sorry for him. The vibe was extremely weird and off. Didn't Charleston guy expose Aiden for being gay too? Did he? Yeah, I'm gonna have to check out this Aiden Ross guy. He seemed like he is trouble. Mm-mm. Ava. Yeah, I'm gonna have to cue that up to watch when we get off here. It's a shame. Okay, now I see. Yeah, it's here. I'm gonna look at it, and they're all sitting around with their shirts off and stuff. What in a weirdo mess? Uh, But if you do something strange for a little piece of change, listen, ain't no amount of money in the world. Do you hear me? I know. I've never watched a full video of his. I've only ever seen clips. I think the big creators like that are three-letter agency pawns. I mean, gotta be if you can be paid to do something like that. And you have no problem bringing other people into it. You know, like that you're in the lion's den, but you keep on inviting people, just like what they said that Rick Ross did with Meek Mill. You know how they kept on showing the video, and Meek Mill is about to sign his contract, and he's so excited, and they have Rick Ross. He takes off his hat, and he's just kind of rubbing his forehead, like, and shaking his head, like what's about to go down. Like he knew what he was. He knew what he was getting that boy into. And next thing you know, you got Meek Mill doing jumping jacks and all kinds of stuff in the pool with these men and foolishness. It's sad though. It's real sad. Why are these men in their drawers and their shirts off? Anyway, here's a joke. Do you know the elite's favorite movies? It's the wonderful Wizard of Oz. Yep, Alice in Wonderland and Fantasy Island. I knew about Wizard of Oz and Alice in Wonderland. I don't know what Fantasy Island is. But yeah, I've heard about those things. They have double meanings. Hmm. And Alice in Wonderland, especially when you get older, you can kind of see the trippiness in it and all that. He said, "Yep, Meek Mill got destroyed by Diddy, and the whole world heard it. Him jumping like a bunny. Yeah, it's a doggone shame." That guy Quincy, that Quincy guy who produces music, is said to have propositioned a lot of male artists, and most of them took the offer. Yeah, Quincy Jones. I said he got a lot of people. Like the Will Smiths and the Tevin Campbells, and I remember when Tevin tried to deny that he had been prostituting himself on the streets of LA or wherever he was, and then I think he had to backtrack and admit it later on. And then it looked like he was also strung out on drugs on top of that. So, and I don't know if he was like that before his interaction. Because remember, I don't know if again, I don't know how old you are, but when Tevin first came out, they had it like him and Tatiana Ali had a thing together. She was all up in his music video. He was, guest starring on The Fresh Prince of Bel-Air. And then next thing you know, they said he was sassy. I was like, okay. How did we get here? Did he really? That's so gross. He said, and in the video, Aiden says, why y'all smell like ish? Excuse the language. Really? Okay, so I'm looking at the video is kind of playing in the background, but so you're saying that the thing with the black sweatshirt on is a trans. Why would you set somebody up like that? I'd rather live a life of extreme brutal poverty than do what you have to do with your bum hole to get in the industry. Yeah. I mean, and even with the women, getting passed around and stuff. And unfortunately, I think the casting couch is real for both men and women. Michael Jai White has talked about being harassed by, I don't even know if his is men. I think a lot of women were trying to get him to do stuff for roles. What? Before Frank Sinatra died, Frank gave Quincy Jones his ring and told the music elites that Quincy is the chosen one. Oh. What does that mean? And Frank Sinatra is one of those do as thou wilt type of guys. I think I'm going to make a video for the Patreon about the Rat Pack, because I just kind of showed y'all James Mansfield and her affiliation with Anton LaVey. Well, if y'all don't know, Sammy Davis Jr. was also a Satanist and was really close friends with Anton LaVey. Well, obviously, because he was in the Church of Satan. And remember when Jay-Z was like, he was telling us that he gets possessed by the spirits, and he was mentioning Frank Sinatra as one. So I don't know if this guy was into. I just heard some really bad stuff about Frank. I know everybody loves him, and he's quoted a lot, but I think he was a really bad dude. Really bad dude. I always laugh when all these dudes trying to play gangster and rap or giving up ass, but they want you to think they're some G's. Yeah, they're G's, all right. Yep. Yeah, that's it. Yep. Mm-mm. Yes, and he said he was translator. Oh my goodness. Listen, because at that point, now that I know that we're both men, we can fight. Because ain't no way I'm going to jail. Basically, Quincy was the new shot caller in the music industry. And crazy stuff. Mm-mm. That chick was a confirmed witch. Even her daughter admitted that. Had to be. And I think she tried to get out. She tried to get out of it, try to speak against it. But she was straddling the fence because she was also saying good stuff about it. So, mm-mm. Oh, really? I never listened to his music because of how deep in the occult he was. Oh, okay. See, yeah, I've never listened to his music either. I just know that he's, they always rave about Frank, but when I hear them say it, it's always because they say Frank did it his way, which is, like, again, an offshoot off of Do As Thou Wilt. Mm-mm. Look, it said Vox has an article saying Frank Sinatra was spiritual, not religious, before it was cool. See, but what spirit? My. It says in a 1963 Playboy interview, Frank Sinatra offered surprising honesty when asked about his stance on religion. The musician spoke out about his belief system and took issue with many elements of organized religion. He uh he grew up in a Catholic household. Though he was born, I guess he was raised non-traditional. Listen, his father was a boxer and a bar owner, and his mother was a Democratic ward boss and midwife. She also campaigned for women's rights and illegally provided abortions to women in need. Can't make this stuff up. She didn't want to just be a housekeeper, so she wanted to be, you know. He says, I'm like Albert Switzer and Bertrand Russell and Albert Einstein in that I have respect for life in any form. I believe in nature, in the birds, the sea, the sky, and everything I can see, or that there is real evidence for. If these things are what you mean by God, then I believe in God. But I don't believe in a personal God to whom I look for comfort or for a natural on the next roll of the dice. Didn't we just say that earlier about the we need real evidence and all that kind of stuff? This is the same rhetoric over and over again. These things are about organized religion, which is what I resent. Christ is revered as the Prince of Peace, but more blood has been shed in his name than any other figure in history. Again, he was raised Catholic, and you know what he mentions? Boom, I knew that was going to happen. Remember, they were men of God who destroyed the educational treasures at Alexandria. No, it wasn't. Who perpetuated the Inquisition in Spain? No, it wasn't. Who burned the witches at Salem? Now, I don't know about that. Um, but when they're talking about the Inquisition and all that kind of stuff, they're thinking about Catholicism. Christ wasn't waging war against people like that. They always, I'm sorry. No, I'm not sorry. They always are talking about Catholicism. They're always raised up in Catholicism and then they resort to this. Now, are there people still in the religion? Absolutely. I'm talking about the ones that leave it because of, and they give this excuse. It's always never what they saw Christ write, never what the witnesses say that Christ did. It's going to be a big falling away. If an individual's already has sin in their spirit, doing as they will only result in evil because they already have the spirit of evil and death. Exactly. But of course, that's too much logic for people. But again, we're talking about people that don't believe in sin either. You know, I saw the funniest video this week. Some guy refused to affirm this tranny. He told the guy, "You don't look like a woman. You got an Adam's apple and hairier legs than a tarantula." For real, for real, for real. There's a reason why Frank Sinatra named his group the Rat Pack, a bunch of snitches and backstabbing punks. I can believe it. I can believe it. But who all was in that? I remember obviously Frank Sinatra, Sammy Davis Jr. Let me see. Oh, Dean Martin. I don't really know too much about him. Peter Lawford, Joey Bishop. Yeah, I don't know too many things about the other people, but it's like a robot doing what it's programmed to do. Yeah. I'm glad that you brought that up because isn't that the argument? Well, isn't that what you have to logically believe if you don't believe in a creator? We're just doing what we programmed to do. We don't have a mind of our own. It's just chemicals, chemical reactions, which causes us to think and act the way that that we do. And so that's why they feel like they come to the conclusion that there could be no consequences because this is what we're programmed to do. They don't think that there's a way to renew your mind. Oh, he missed it while he was eating that pizza. He was being funny. That's so funny. Mm-mm. But yeah, I don't know these other folks. I don't know. So yeah, I might do a video on them if if it's interesting enough. Their little life stories, but oh my, oh my. Oh no, you're okay. People have to know that you be in these comments acting up. I'm just playing. Y'all crack me up, so I I'm here for it. I'm here for it. Well, y'all, it's been real. As always, I had a really good time on this evening. Um, Stay tuned. Obviously, I got some videos dropping about Egypt. Again, if there's things to expound on from these lives, I'm trying to do my best to put those in shorts so that people can kind of understand more of what we're talking about in here. And yeah, I'm gonna get off this live and call it a night. I hope you guys have a good week. And I hope that you get what you prayed for. All right. Have a good night, y'all.